Yes, yes, come on in. Come on into the building. We ain't gonna let them stop. We ain't gonna let them stop. Now go tell somebody, he on YouTube. Shout it live. Shout it live, let them know. But this is the biggest problem right here is this death consciousness, okay? This death consciousness is the biggest problem because this is where you start to deal with the habits, the violence, and uh, the bad eating habits. All this type of stuff comes from this. You've never been told, you've never been showed what it looks like to live forever or everlasting life or how to obtain this type of stuff. So being here and learning that all things must end, even though nature has not ever showed you that, then this is what we go toward. When I put this in your mind, it becomes a reality. Okay? When this stuff is your mentality or your in your thought life, then it becomes your reality. Okay, so that's why we must guard the mind. That's why we must take our minds back. The biggest commodity, the hottest commodity on the market is not gold, is not oil, is not silver, is not platinum, is not uranium. The biggest commodity on the market is your mind, because once I get your mind, I got your okay. And how do I get your mind? Thoughts entered into the mind and the body. All that did, or all that thought was, is disobedience. So what's gonna happen if I do eat the apple or eat the fruit? That was a thought. Oh yeah, I don't really know how to flip the screen on this one. Yeah, I don't know how to flip the screen on this one, pimping. Okay, but it don't matter. I'm gonna explain everything to you. So, but this death consciousness puts a stress on us, you guys. Okay, it is a very stressful thing to come into this dynamic, knowing that one day you got to leave here. Okay, when you start seeing these people leave here, you start seeing these things go away. So what we're trying to do is now we need to bring in another system. Okay, this is just a system that was brought in for population control. Okay, to control you to some kind of paradigm and to link you or to match you up with the worst things that you can experience in this paradigm. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to be here no more. Then somebody else that don't want to be here no more, or take out somebody else, right? But this gives you a power that you shouldn't be having. You should have the power to live long and strong. Okay. So what we need to do in order to reverse what's happening is we need to bring in life consciousness. All right. Instead of death consciousness, we need to bring in life consciousness. And that's what we're attempting to do here in this particular space called herbal medicine or holistic practicing. Okay. We're coming into this thing with a different storytelling, a different, uh, um, a different dynamic in which we can think. We're starting to put into the brain different stuff to where you'll understand that, dang, I can live to 120. I can live happy, healthy, and whole. That this is not hellacious, this is heavenly. That I can experience positivity. I can experience opportunity. I can experience great relationships. I can have anything that I want in life. People can live long. Body parts can regenerate. So we got to get you to get all that death consciousness out. We got to dump the garbage can. And then we're going to put back in it life. And that's what we're attempting to do here on the HerbMan show. And that's what they don't want you to hear. That's why TikTok is glitching. And in a minute, YouTube gonna be doing the same thing because they don't want you to hear this dynamic. Okay, life stories about how people live long and strong, about how the body can regenerate, about how you can you know, manifest, can get a life that you dreamed of. Right up under disease. Death is the disease. Once you start getting that in now, then you got all kinds of symptoms. Okay, it's the symptoms. And they call these symptoms diseases, but they're really not. They're symptoms of a bigger, higher arching problem. What is that? The death consciousness. So you started eating dead foods. Some of y'all think that you're doing good because you're vegan, but them fruits and vegetables been dead. They just still maintaining their color. But you know the nutritional degradation of a lot of those foods? Y'all harping on animal meat just because it's a dead animal, but what a dead plant. Neither one of them got the life that you need. Okay? Neither one of them got the life that you need in it. So we got to be conscious enough to understand. So this just don't go toward you. This goes toward everything that you do. You going in there eating tater chips, them tater chips, that's made out of dead matter. You going in there eating rice or whatever it is, it's been dead. So what you think the end result of eating death is? Anybody? Somebody? It's death, baby. It's called a death consciousness. Everything that you're doing. So now if you got this death consciousness, then guess what? There's going to be things that's going to happen in your life that's going to die. Like relationships, like situations. Because you have never been taught the concept of eternity. the concept of eternal, everlasting. But we have examples. From the sun to the moon, to the earth, to the water, to the air. You got these examples of things constantly living on. And the only one component that doesn't is animal life, which includes you as a human. But why? Why does the tree can live thousands of years, but I can't? And I'm the one that can go and get my own stuff and do my own thing. The tree can't do nothing but sit there. Well, that's why. Because you have free will, you are choosing this. That's what Adam and Eve did, right? If you think about it, they had everything in the world. Just don't eat that. See that? So that when they said just don't eat that, that was a consciousness that came into them. Well, then you'll have the key. You'll have the knowledge of life and death, good and evil. So as soon as I said don't do something, you went right over there and did it, because that was. And then the thought, the serpent, you're gonna be just like them. You'll be just like him. I never thought I could be just like God. Yeah, you never even thought it because you were just living free. Now you tell me I can be like God. I can have the knowledge of good and evil like God do. You'll be tossing and turning in your bed all night trying not to eat that fruit. You see? But that's when death consciousness came in. And ever since then, we've been on this road up under this particular paradigm. So all of the, it ain't number two people that didn't experience death in the Bible. Enoch, Elijah. And you don't hear enough about their life. Enoch and Elijah were the only two people that didn't experience death in the Bible. So you don't have a whole lot of life stories. You don't have a whole lot of life consciousness. So you don't know the value in eating live foods. You don't know the value of eating live foods. You don't know the value of eating freshly picked fruits and vegetables. You don't know the value of eating freshly killed animal product. Like back when I was growing up, you wring the chicken neck, that's on the table. And I remember people used to say that chicken got a little twang to it. It got a little, because it still got life in the blood. But the chicken that you eating at Popeye been gone. So you don't taste that twang. You don't taste that life. Okay? So we don't know the value of eating live foods. We do not know the value of taking in live plant matter. So that's why the end result to a vegan is the same as the end result to a carnivore. Because we don't know the value of live food. That's why I tell you the guys to learn gardening. I ain't really worried about farming because that's mass produced. But the gardening, to get my little herbs and spices, to get my little, my little tomatoes and stuff like that. Come on, man. Now you talking as a vegan. So the first aspect of veganism should be gardening. The first movement that a vegan should be pushing out there is gardening. Let me repeat this for the vegans in the back. The first thing that you should be pushing as a vegan is gardening and growing your own foods so that you can start to change the paradigm instead of leaving that out. Just because you go into the farmer's market getting your groceries don't mean that you're eating anything with life in it. It is so nutritional degraded that nobody is stating that fact. That's why, again, the end result to a vegan is this, and the end result to a man eating meat is this. You both are going to hear because you both are learning the depth consciousness and you're not getting it down into the core. What is the rudiment of your teaching? The rudiment of your teaching should be how to garden and to eat straight off the plant. And when you garden and when you grow it, then you know what you put in it, you know how you grew it, and then therefore you can now start to value the life of the plants, and the plants can now start bringing more value to you. Because why? That food is going to have medicine in it. And medicine should have a food value, just like food need to have a medicinal value. So how do we create this flux of medicine in our foods? You grow it yourself. Take back the responsibility of that and put it back into your own hands. We all want somebody to blame. We all want to blame the YT people. We want to blame the black people. We want to blame the Russians. We want to blame the Asians. We want to blame the doctors. We want to blame the church. We want to blame this. But reality is that this is your responsibility. Your life, your health is your responsibility. It is your responsibility. Y'all want to blame me. That's why I'm glad that nature showed me about the owner's manual. Okay? And you can get your owner's manual. All we need is your birthday. Okay? And you give me your birthday, you get your owner's manual for your little measly $50 right here. And we give you what nature said about you. So now you have your own owner's manual to you. And it's your responsibility to service yourself. But now you'll know how to do it. You'll know how to do your service when it comes to your mental health department. You'll know how to service yourself when it comes to your emotional health department. You'll know how to service yourself and maintenance yourself when it comes to the physical health department. You'll know how to service yourself and maintenance yourself when it comes to the spiritual health department. And you got these 4 departments in you, but you don't know the maintenance schedule. You don't know when to clean house. You don't know when to clean the filters in the AC units of your body. Right? You don't know how to do it because you don't know the owner's manual. You don't own your own owner's manual. Now you go to a doctor that don't got your owner's manual. Then how good of a mechanic can he be when you a Nissan and he trying to put Chevy parts on you? He trying to give you Chevy gas. You know, you're an old school 67 Chevy and he trying to put you some super unleaded in you when you all right with regular. You can't take that super unleaded. Or you're a new Benz and they're trying to put some unleaded in you when you need super unleaded. The doctor not having your owner's manual doesn't make him a great mechanic to fix your body, to repair your parts. Okay? A pastor that does not have your owner's manual doesn't make him a good mechanic to fix your spiritual health department. He's not a great technician at fixing your spiritual health department. So if they don't got the owner's manual on you and you don't got the owner's manual on yourself, then it's going to be very hard to repair you. It's going to be very hard to service you. Okay? Yeah, there ain't nothing I can do about it. I don't know how to flip the screen, man. I don't know how to flip it. Only thing this does on YouTube is this right here. That's the only flip it do. I know a lot of them too that stay sick. I know a lot of vegans too that stay sick. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all. I got a lot of vegans that come into the herb shop, you know, and they dealing with some of the same stuff as somebody else. Okay. So again, it's just that depth consciousness has to be eradicated before we start changing diets. We need to change the mind. Yeah, I don't know how to flip this screen, y'all. I got to get used to what this doing. Yeah, we don't know how to flip the screen, but you know, we'll be back on and we'll be back on TikTok here. But I'm gonna learn how to do this so we can come on over here, cause TikTok been tripping, man. They have been tripping on me. And I'm like, I don't even know why, because all I'm doing is trying to speak life. So when you're going through this paradigm, again, the owner's manual is the best information you can get. When you're going through this paradigm, just know that you can regenerate. Okay, know that you can regenerate. Know that you can solve all your problems. Okay, all your problems can be solved. All right. And we talked earlier about the seasons. We talked about the power of the mind. So you understand that if your mind got power to do all this other stuff, it also has the power to heal yourself. If you got a thought about eating something and you go in, next thing you know, you find yourself eating it, then that's power. So that thought, that same power that it requires for you to think of a thing and do it, is the same power that you can use to heal yourself. So you got to watch out for these 7 demonic things, because what they do is they come in and vex you, and you get stuck. And when you get stuck into these emotional stresses, then that's what's causing the hellacious type of experiences that we may be having. Okay, so the biggest thing is to not allow yourself to get stuck into some of these spiritual, emotional, demonic things that come toward us. That don't mean that you're not going to experience something. It just means that you don't want to let it sit with you and stay with you. You know, you may have a little attachment issue, but you deal with yourself with it and free yourself up from that. You may have a little times where you're delusional and lonely, but you deal with that and get back into understanding that we're all one. Okay, you may have a little bit of a situation with doubt and trust, right? But and that's okay. You can experience that, but don't let it sit there too long. Okay, and just sit in lying and sit in being all you know, untrustworthy and all that type of stuff. Because when you do that, you're gonna have bad relationship issues. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have a little grief and depression. Every now and then, something may grieve you, some sadness or loss you may experience, but you don't let that thing sit. Okay, you don't let that thing sit. So if it requires you having to go and shout and yell, scream and cry, go do what you got to do to get that grief and depression out of you before it becomes a cancer. Okay, it's okay to experience a little bit of self-control issues because you're learning yourself. But once you see where your addictions are and your habits are, then you got to start putting a little bit more discipline on self. And this is just how you do these things, right? So I always tell people that from the eating and the drinking, there are 4 things that you got to look at in the paradigm of being a human. Okay, it's eating, drinking, thinking, and feeling. Well, you do more thinking and feeling than you do eating and drinking on any daily basis. So if eating and drinking is causing you the problem, then fast. Learn how to fast from eating and drinking. If thinking and feeling is causing you the problem, which 9 times out of 10, that's where it's going to be at, then you got to learn how to meditate. And when you learn how to meditate, you take a break from thinking, and you take a break from feeling. And this is why retreats and things of this nature are so important to you, because it allows you to get away from the rat race, okay? And you're able to now, you don't have to really think about nothing but yourself. You don't got to be all caught up in these emotions of what the children bring home, or what the spouse bring home, or what the job brings into your circumference, right? And so meditating and retreating and getting out of a paradigm to where you're constantly on go in your mind, you're constantly, you can't shut it down, you can't shut it off, because you don't know how to take a breather and meditate. You don't know how to take that breather and get out of the emotional rat race of life. So if your problems is thinking and feeling, you meditate. If your problem is eating and drinking, you fast. I consider you guys needed to do both. I recommend that you do both. So when you get your owner's manual, you'll see that you're going to have foods in there, herbs in there, you're going to have activities in there. And I tell everybody on their email consultation, because this is not a book, it's an email consultation. But I tell everybody in the email consultation, one thing I put on every single email: you must clear both the mind and the body of toxic behavior. You must clear both the mind and the body of toxic behavior. Because if you just do one of them, then the other one is going to affect the other one. So if you just cleared your body, oh, I did a detox, 21-day detox, but you didn't clear your mind, so you went right back into some of the bad habits after you detoxed. If you detox the mind, and you're saying, okay, cool, I'm a vegan, I'm this, that, and the third, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna drink right, I'm gonna do everything that I gotta be doing, but you don't clear the, if you clear your body like that, but you don't clear the mind, you go back. If you clear the mind, but you didn't clear the body, then you can still be susceptible to things that are still in the body. So you got a clean mind, but you didn't clean the body. You got a clear mind, but you didn't clear your body. Are you still privy to this right here? Death. Okay? So we got to clear both the mind and the body. And you're going to learn how to manage yourself in certain ways. So after you clear both those things of toxic behavior, then you're going to manage your departments of health. You're going to manage your health department, manage your spiritual health department, manage your physical health department, manage your emotional health department. You got to learn how to manage these things. These are your departments. You are the department head. Okay? And one of the biggest things in managing a department is learning what that department needs to maintenance it and service it. And I was in the service industry. I was a facility manager, facility maintenance manager, certified. So I got to come into each building. Not only do I got to run a department, but I also got to facilitate I got to utilize these tools, these people, these coworkers, these employees, and I got to use them in a way that is maintaining and repairing and being preventative in the building. So again, I'm gonna put you on the AC units. We're gonna put you on the plumbing. I'm gonna put you on the roofing. I'm gonna put you on the grounds. I'm gonna put you on the lighting. I'm gonna put you on, this or that, right? So now you got these people in different places in this building to make sure that anything that's happening from the functionality of the building, somebody is on it to service it. Not only was that my job to delegate, but then also to create the preventive maintenance program so that we can not necessarily be reactionary, but we're going to also be preventative. Now, some things you can't help but be reactionary to. So this is why this owner's manual is so important, because it helps you be preventative. It's a preventative maintenance program, but it also can help you and be reactionary. So I took the same tools that I utilized in learning how to maintain a building and put it toward maintaining the body. And I understood that with the body, the mind is one of the most important aspects to reconstructing. That before I try to transform your kidneys, your mind needs to be transformed. That before you try to transform your blood pressure, blood sugar, your mind needs to be transformed. People are looking for lifetime prescriptions when they don't want to transform their mind. So yeah, getting away from the pills and getting on the herbs is a very good thing, but you'll be on the herbs for a lifetime if you don't change the mind. So we try to give out lifestyle prescriptions, which is what this is, with your owner's manual for your measly little $50. You get a lifestyle prescription on how to manage everything pertaining to you. And we do this all by just getting your birthday. That's it. We don't need your time. We don't need your location. You can't get no better than this. And I teach people this all the time. Stop buying stuff and stop trying stuff. Know what you need, and then you get what you need, right? Because when you don't know what you need, you make the world a marketplace for your mind. And everybody's a salesman. So instead of selling products that you may not or may require, let's just go ahead and get you your owner's manual. So now every time you go in the grocery store, you know what foods to be looking for. He said red foods. Red foods are foods that got red on it, and it ain't meat. All my stuff, I'm gonna give you vegetables and fruits. So somebody asked me the other day, is you talking about meat cause meat red? Come on, stupido. Let's not be crazy, okay? These foods are fruits and vegetables. Now, if you want to eat meat, that's on you. But the color code is for fruits and for vegetables. Okay? So you're going to go in the grocery store, you're going to be looking at red foods, like the red bell pepper, the tomato. Okay? When you go in the grocery store, you see green foods on your owner's manual, you're going to be looking for all things green. Look for the color, jalapeno, dark green leafy vegetables, okra. It's going to be in color codes. You can go to the grocery store right now, you'll see all them colors. Now you'll know what you need. Okay? If you looking for the herbs, you want to know what herbs you need. They all come in your owner's manual. And it doesn't matter what kind of issue you got. I had somebody yesterday hit me up talking about, yeah, but I got this and I got that and I got this and I got that. Take the herbs in your owner's manual. Do the things that we're teaching you to do in your owner's manual. Those are the things that's going to service you. So that means that you got to handle some of this spiritual stuff as well as the physical to get you on the road back to Wellville, USA. And that's what we're teaching. Okay? That's what we're teaching. Okay? So if you guys are looking for your owner's manual to you, it ain't got nothing to do with me. These are not my recommendations. I don't want the doctor's recommendation. Look, when people tell me about what the doctor said, it's crazy because I'm like, you want me to take that diagnosis in consideration, but if the doctors know what it is, why can't they fix it? And so now you want me to take what they can't fix based on that diagnosis, and you want me to take it too. No, I don't want it. I don't want no doctor's diagnosis. I'm not a doctor, so I don't give me no doctor's diagnosis. If they know what it is, then they should be able to fix the problem. Because 9 times out of 10, what they say it is ain't really what it is. Because again, it's a spiritual thing that has manifested something in you physically. And that part they ain't telling you. So if they call it cryptoquartilosis, I don't give a damn. If they know what it was, why would I take that shit in consideration? If they know what it is and can't fix it, then you want me to take it and can't fix it either. No, we don't do that. So we don't need diagnosis. We don't need your diagnosis because you don't know enough about yourself. We don't need the doctor's diagnosis because they don't know enough about you. And you don't need my diagnosis because I don't know enough about you. But one thing that does is nature. And this is an old ancient tool of assessment that nobody's going to be able to rival. Okay? But this is the rival for modern medicine. And it's called ancient medicine. And it comes with a system. And the more of us that learn this system, the more of us that understand this system, you're going to get it. People ask me all the time, how you know it worked? Because I've been working it since 2018. If you guys are on YouTube right now, go to my first video. It's going to, oh, I left it upstairs. But it's going to hold up a little picture that came to my spirit. I still got that to this day. I've been on this road since 2018. My detox is called the 4 Element Nader Detox, off the 4 elements. My tonics are called the earth tonic, water tonic, air tonic, and fire tonic. These posters that I had in my shop, these are the posters that I had in my shop. You see on there, what's on there? I know it's backwards, so y'all can't see, but it say fire. I mean, it say earth right at the top. Okay? So we've been doing this in the community. The community didn't know that I had a system, but I knew what I was doing, and very successful. Okay? Very, very successful doing this. And all we're doing is going off Mama Nature. This is the system that I built my products on, my company on, and my brand on. That's how I know it works. And countless of people have lost so much weight, they've gotten off medication through with the detoxes. You got some people that are on the tinctures right now. Okay? We've been doing this. We've allocated all of this information and put it into a natural system. Okay? And the system works. And we deviated and got away from this system to incorporate modern medicine, but at the end of the day, it done reached its wit's end. Modern medicine is not working. What other system do you got to go off? This is the system. I ain't trying to copycat modern medicine to help you guys, because that ain't working. So we got to do something else. You guys can email me or DM me if you guys are looking for any information on your owner's manual. Okay, DM me and email me, and we'll get you situated. Okay. Yeah, Boogie said game over. Yeah, the game's over. It's over with. You know, and on top of that, not only is this system been working, but now it's getting televised. You know, I was afraid like hell to tell people about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because one of them was, I know what's going to happen. Because now it's saying, oh, you got a system to rival pharmaceuticals. And yes, motherfucker, we got it. I ain't scared of you. We got it. We went back to nature. We went back to nature. We went back to nature. And we realized and found out that in going back to nature, nature could give us everything that we needed to service us better. And and nature came with a system. A system. You cannot take the pacifier out the baby mouth without putting something else in there. So we can't just be willy-nilly just with herbs without no system. And I thought about it. I said, you know, what does the modern medicine use to eradicate a lot of the most egregious situations like tumors, cancers, and stuff like that? What does modern medicine use? Heat. Chemotherapy is chemical heat in the body that dissolves everything for your immune system to try to kick back up and bring it back in healthier cells. So it's heat. If they don't use chemotherapy, they use radiation. That's a heat wave. If they don't use radiation, they use a laser. That's a heated light. So they up there using heat, but you act like you don't know what it takes to dissolve your stuff. Heat. So I teach women about the fibroids. You need heat. Tumors, you need heat. You got to crank up the heat in your body. You got to induce the fever, because this is where your immune system works properly. Now, you don't want to get over 102, but you want to get it up to 102. You want to sweat it out. You want to take hot baths. You want to get in the you know, you want to keep your socks on. You want to keep your head wrapped. You want to keep your neck wrapped. You want to do whatever you got to do to boost up your immunity. Here last year, I had came down with a little cold because I was dealing with a young lady with a baby, and baby got sick going to the daycare. Now, it took me a while to get sick, but when I did, what I do? I came home, took me a hot bath, wrapped up, turned off the air, was very uncomfortable, turned off the AC unit, do whatever I got to do, and sweated it out. And the next day, I'm up and going. And I'm down there 20 years older than the people that I'm talking about got sick. And I recovered faster. The baby, I'm 40 years older than the baby, 20 years older than the mama. I still recover faster. Why? Because we crank the heat up, turn that immune system on. Your immune system is your healer, tied in with sleep and rest and relaxation. These are the things that heal people. That's why I teach people about the retreat effect. A lot of people get healed going to retreats because you take them away from an environment where they can get the rest, they can get the relaxation, they can get the sleep. And I give you one more thing. They get natural foods. Most of them foods that them people eating in the retreats, they be fresh off the vine. Fresh mangoes and fresh this and fresh that. They put them in thermal waters. All this stuff what Dr. Sabi used to do. Okay? What is he doing? Putting you in thermal water. Thermal water means hot water. What is he doing while he giving you freshly picked fruits? What is he doing when he make you fly away to Honduras? Taking you away from the environment so that you can sleep, rest, relax, and heat. And live foods. Man, that's a recipe for healing if you've never heard of it before. Okay? So again, that's what we're doing, you guys. I didn't want to stay on here long. I'm going to get off of here. But again, go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. If TikTok don't keep playing, we'll come over here to YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get notified when we do come on here and do our thing, man. You know, I love you guys. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it, okay? But this is the best thing smoking. So I keep on busting y'all upside the head with this because you can't get no more preventative and you can't get no more reactive to whatever's going on in your body, mind, and in your life, man. I love you guys, man. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until next time. Love HerbMan. Peace.